Hello, everybody. Welcome to Banter Blitz. My name is International Master Andras Toth, and it is my absolute pleasure to be on Banter Blitz for the first time. Sorry for the delay. We have had a few technical hiccups, which we sorted out. So it's time for us to jump into the games. And I'm just going to accept, or I thought, challenges from all of you guys who are here. So let's kick off E4. They say that that's a good move on the first go. I'm happy for you to challenge 5 or 3 minute games, whatever suits. I am cool either way because the chances of you flagging me is essentially the same in both cases, aka extremely high. Now, since I was born in Hungary, we are going to unleash the Maróczy bind, named after my fellow countryman Géza Maróczy. Just to show off some non-existent chess historical knowledge. I feel that the pressure is on because I have watched a little bit of Banter Blitz just to see how this is done when it's done well. So I watched legends like Peter Svidler, who I think very highly of, and other equally well-known dudes like Ian Nepo. I don't even attempt to pronounce his name because that would end in a disaster. So yeah, those guys really know how to do this business. So I will try my best. Now, this Maróczy bind is usually a position where black is aiming to trade a couple of pieces at least. And that is exactly what I'm trying to dodge with all my might. Although now knight g4 may have been a move there to exploit the long diagonal. And now he's trying to pull a dirty on me by playing for b5. So if I go queen d2, d5 takes, take d5, knight b4 can't be played because my knight is covering that, so knight e7. Then we seem to have d6. Okay, let's try this. Okay, one of us is missing something. I don't know who is it that is missing something, but it's gonna get ugly soon. I am the one, because after knight e7, d6, he has got knight f5. Bugger. Okay. That's not a good start, is it? Actually, d6, knight f5, bishop f4 still looks somewhat like a chess game, although then knight e4, bishop a1. Rook a1, bishop e4. This is getting real messy. And I'm pretending that I'm calculating like a boss. That's what I'm good at, pretending. So once again, d6, knight f5, bishop f4, knight e4, bishop takes a1. And then if I could jump somewhere epic with this horse, that would be really nice. But I can't see. Anyway, maybe d7. D7 is an interesting one there. Okay, let's stir up the pot, ladies and gentlemen. Let's stir up the pot. I totally missed that too. Wow, Zevich. Zevich is owning the house like crazy. He's just blitzing out these moves, and I am losing control like a 3-year-old kid with the garden hose. That is the best way, I reckon, to put it. Now, I don't really want to take, because then everybody's hanging. Holy cadoodle. And yet I have to. So the problem is that after knight d5, if I go bishop d4, he has got this rook takes c2 dirty. So I reckon I have to go here, but boy, I'm not liking what I'm doing. So that if knight takes, that's the first time when I'm not in total dismay. And queen d6, bishop d4, and after 18 moves of hard labor, I may have been able to equalize. That's a tremendous effort. So do we go bishop f3 and just pin him a little bit? I'm really worried about some tacticos, but let's see. We are going to try to put some pressure on, which sounds quite amazing, given that I have got 1 minute and 40 left against his 3:47. I think I managed to gather all the necessary ingredients for a cluster disaster. So now all we need to do is just to watch it unfold. And it's gonna be mint. I wanted bishop g5, but bishop f6. Bishop f6, queen f6 just undoes the pin. Oh boy. Playing slow, very bad moves very slowly. That seems to be my forte these days. So the plan, if bishop f6, I will just go h4 and bless myself with the sign of the cross and hope for the best. That is the plan. I think it's time to drink because maybe there will be very little reason for celebration later on. I'm not sure, guys, what the visual is like behind me, by the way. Apologies if the green screen is burning your eyes out. It is just that the whole room is set for recording. I probably shouldn't be doing this because it messes up with the recording. Okay, we seem to be good though. And for the first time, opponent is in trouble. Looks like I need to talk a lot of rubbish and then it's gonna yield results. f6. Well, at least he has an ugly bishop. So that's a reason for celebration. And my bishop might become a reasonably cool customer on g3. Yeah, I need to adjust a little bit my tempo here because I'm currently playing by essentially correspondence chess, and that is not really effective to score victories here. Zevic from Spain is really giving me a perfect opportunity to come to my senses in terms of warming into this game. All right, there's no time to think, unfortunately. If horse f4, I guess I may have bishop g3, bishop takes f3, bishop f4. Whoa, boy, this is not looking pleasant. Okay, now that rook is a bit clumsy. I really want to play knight d6. Let's go back here and then knight b5 next if I can help it. Maybe he has got a knight jump somewhere. Knight c3, I didn't look at that. Bishop takes b7, queen b7, rook e1 is forced so that I don't lose to rook d4 instantly. But f5 is dirty. Maybe bishop e5. I don't know, man. Chess is hard. 34 seconds. Holy cadoodle. Interesting position. f5 with the idea of f4 is also a little bit nasty. However, now I can swing back towards. Yeah, let's pretend I've got something here. Would be good if I could use a mouse. It shouldn't be a difficult challenge, and yet it seems to be a struggle. So f4, I think I will go bishop here and tickle that rook a little bit. I think he's in some kind of trouble now because all of a sudden there are a few too many dudes hanging there. Although my bishop is not exactly a Picasso painting either, so she might be feeling a little bit of heat too. And boy, I seriously need to speed up here. Maybe I will sneak in a sneaky rookie one with bishop e6, trying to hunt for a bigger fish. Okay, well, he seems to be keen on catching up on time. I suppose that he's showing absolutely exemplary fairness and fair play. Holy cadoodle, what is that? That was strange. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately for him, the time situation got the better of him, and he got even more nervous than me. And he's not even doing Banter Blitz, where you are meant to be funny and playing brilliant chess. Whew! Oh my word! Wow! So much for a convincing entree, hey? Okay, so let's close this and going back to these beautiful Prime members, Siddhartha Chess, 2266. Oops. Ooh, I don't know what I'm doing now. Okay, yeah, I managed to accept it. Siddhartha Chess. If I'm not mistaken, Siddhartha was the civil name of Buddha, Gautama Siddhartha or something like that. I suppose it's a cool name for a chess player if it indicates a calm and measured persona. And we are in the Zamish variation, named after the Austrian master Karl Zamisch, if I'm not mistaken. And I like this pawn Saccharino line against it. I'm trying to pick up my game in terms of speed because the previous game was a total embarrassment. And by the way, thank you. I forgot your name. Whoever I played against, you absolutely got the better of me there. And I got away with a tremendous flukerino. I don't understand how these top GMs managed to commentate 3-minute games. Like I played 14 moves and I feel like I had no time to say a single semi-sensible sentence about what's going on. Partly it's because I have no idea what's going on, but partly because I don't want to fall into the same trap as before. So it's a very common variation of the Zamish, and a lot of King's Indian players, yours truly included, often opt to transition into this variation of the Benoni. So if you spotted the fact that we are actually in a Benoni structure, then you can give yourself a gentle pat on the back because you are a very well-educated player. What the heck is that? I remember this plan where they put a rook here and they tried to crack me here, but somehow it... Is it queen f6, knight h3? Huh. Okay, let's put this here. I'm guessing he's gonna go a5. Although I don't think I'm actually threatening with b5 myself. But at least we provoke the reaction. I like it when we do that. Okay, let's go here. Now I believe I may have a legitimate claim to threaten with b5, although even then AB, AB, b4, CB, and then knight a2 is quite annoying. Knight c4 then though. Fish take pawn. Yeah, that looks legit. And I did tell you about this rook g1 shebang too. Looks like everyone has brought their A game today against me. Or I'm just bad. That's one of the two options is happening right now. And my drink is running out, so yeah. What is going on here? Am I gonna be put on my bike? Is my opponent going to earn the right to tell me, on your bike, mister? Like I used to do that in the good old times on stream. By the way, I think I'm a bit of a doozy because I think this is going on like a stream and I'm doing a massive monologue here. But I will try to get up on my other screen the chat. Is there a chat going on? That would be good, kind of good to know, right? Isn't C3 just winning the house for me here? What am I missing? C3? Okay, let's have a look. I can see my face. That's always a concern. Is there a chat here? Okay, I don't see a chat. Why is C3 not winning the house? Queen A2. How sneaky, but that's good for me. Surely that's good for me. Queen a2 takes, knight takes, c2, rook b2. Yeah, this is wrong. It has to be wrong. Rook take, maybe I shouldn't take rook. Rook b2 seems most tempting, I think, yeah. Like this bishop on g7 is now such a boss, and my white squared bishop is joining the fray too. So it's looking really good, actually. It is looking red hot. I mean, knight c1, I'm almost trapping a bishop there with f4. Knight c1 actually is blundering a rook, so maybe I shouldn't be so excited about trapping a rook, bishop. Actually, I dare say that he doesn't. I didn't actually look at knight b4. What a doozy. But rook b8 seems to be cutting it all right. Oh, I found the commentary. Splendid. Okay, now there is a rumor about knights covering each other being bad. That's what I teach to my students. So now I have to put my money where my mouth is. Okay, I will take this dude. I'll take this dude, and then I will bring a horse. A horsey here. Because my estimation was that e4 is falling, which was a somewhat ill-guided, but actually it's quite interesting because after knight f2, I reckon I can take on e4 and then play bishop f5 and claim that I'm very clever, which is not an everyday occurrence again. Okay, so I'm watching a bit of a delay. Bishop d4, I was just planning to take this brutally, because after all, chess is a very violent, almost martial art like of story. I thought knight c5 could be, oh no, because then the rook moves. Okay, I wish I had time to think this through. Okay, let's put this bishop here. Okay, let's bring this king a little bit closer. I feel like I lost the thread a little bit. Isn't I going to d4? It is. Do I care? I guess not. I wonder if I had rook b2 there. I really wanted to do that. Knight takes, pawn takes, rook b1. Didn't have a sexy knight jump after that, though. All right, the chat seems to be acknowledging my presence and seems to be okay with my monologues. So that's cool. All right, so activating my pieces is the agenda. I just simply want to play rook d2, kick this knight out, roll up with the pawn, and just be happy in general. That's the plan. Knight to the b to the 5. Okay, well, that was the plan, so I should execute it. Thank you, Skeleton. I appreciate it. I need some reassurance because the nerves are yet to settle, and I forgot to put any rum or cognac or other hard-hitting substance into my vitamin drink, by the way. Not that I drink alcohol, so that was just for the jokesy's sake. Are we expecting horse to e1? Or to b4 even? I thought I had this here, but I do not. Can I hurt his king? Actually, let me try to hurt that king. That would be pretty epic. takes, bishop takes, and then rook g2 next. Oh, Baba. I pulled a bunny out of the hat there big time, eh? Schach. I will take this, and then I will check the rook down. Baby. Woo. Booyah. Just when it looked like I completely messed up, I managed to pull the bunny out of the hat. Whoa, that was cool. Batman. 3 minutes. Okay. Let's play something different. Nimzo. I just made a Nimzo. And uploaded it onto my YouTube channel. I hope I'm allowed to say that. No one said I wasn't. So if you are interested in the Nimzo, I recommend you go and check that video out. He's desperate to trade off everything, and I'm really not liking that. I just needed to say it, right? And on top of that, I was playing a few suspicious moves that I shouldn't have done. So the dilemma is, boy, I don't like this position at all. Looks like I'm just gonna be pawned down for nothing. So if I take here, which I really didn't want to do, he has got takes, and when I take back, he has got bishop takes here because my knight is hanging on c5. Far out, man. I haven't started this game yet, and it's already messed up. Oh, and no time either. About my next course. So I have, as you know, guys, released Chess Principles Reloaded Center about 2 months ago, a little bit more. And because of it was very successful, and when I say that, I mean that by my measure of success, which was purely the reception of the course, how it was perceived by those who actually got it, and that was extremely positive. I think the course has got about 16, 17 views, all of them 5 stars, and one review has got 4.5 stars, and that's that. So because of it has been such a great success, and because of from the get-go, excuse me, my intention was to turn it into a series, not to, you know, try to get as much out of it as possible in terms of having my name known and whatnot, but because of that was the design, the structure in my head, even before I sat down for the first idea or the first game rather, for Chess Principles, the center. So now I am well and truly into the second installment, which is about development. And I was actually a little bit torn about this title because it's a very, very unassuming one. Like it's almost like, so what are you going to talk about? That how to move the horses out, and then, you know, like how to get your pieces out. That's what you learn when your first chess lesson is done. So I was a little bit reluctant to go ahead with the one-word title, just like we did with Center. But in the end, I decided to give in because it makes sense to continue in that fashion. And also because I intend to persuade the player or whoever, you know, who gets the course, that actually development is a very, very poorly, well, not poorly, but not well enough understood and utilized and put a lot of words there, concept in lower level chess. And so I'm going to go through in this course, not so much in the history, but the basic concepts of how development and its importance started back with the Morphy era and then up to date, and how his principles are still, or I should rather say how they should still be prominent. And then I move on to various aspects of development, including contemporary gambit play, I talk in a whole entire chapter about positions where it's only one piece that is not developed and it still ruins positions, and so on and so forth. I think I managed to assemble a very, very awesome selection of games that are ranging in their topics quite well for what I'm trying to demonstrate in them. I quite like that h5, such a sneaky, cheeky move. Now I can swing the rook across here and I have slowed down his ambition to move forward there. And that is just nothing. Like, oh, he wants to take b7, which I wouldn't care at all about, but the fact that then c6 would hang is a bit hurting me. I feel like I'm missing tacticos here. Oh yeah, let's pull this dude back here so that then I can go in and mate. So yeah, that's the idea of it behind the course. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. But the green screen behind me is a telltale sign that I'm just about to begin filming. And in its material, the number of games and the number of learnable, or rather, I should say, trainable variations, it is far larger than Centa. I don't know if with the video course it will be the same, or we will try to make it a little bit smaller. Probably that was a lemon because of rook e1 or whatever. All right, I will have to flag him because I'm busy talking, and even without talking, chess is hard for me. And now I'm talking and playing fast chess. Thank you. Good game, sir. Let's go down to the bottom, the Trailblazer, I think. All right, bring it on. Oh, it's Trailblazer. Okay, I didn't realize it was an AI. I thought it was some misspelled business. It looks like the Trailblazer may not be here. Oh, no, he is here. Oh, the London. That is basically a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek thing to do because I'm a very famous hater of the London, to use a very strong word, although I don't like to use the word hate at all. So let's just go with don't play the London, it's garbage. Let's go with that. As a chess coach, I tend to represent rather firm opinions about certain things in chess. And very often I get crucified for these very strong opinions. But I tend to stick with them because I think that's one of the things that not only sets me apart, I wouldn't say from the rest because that would sound ridiculously obsessed with myself, but I do believe in certain things in chess that they have to be black and white, and they are either fundamentally wrong or they are not. And I don't believe in, oh, it's a bit of both. Nah. And I believe that for most players, club level and a little bit higher, the London falls into the category of, please don't do that. It's bad for you. Rook e1, f6, f4, e4. Or should I go? Actually, queen d5 is quite annoying. Hold on, tick. So if I go bishop d7, queen d5, and I can't play f6 to defend this dude, and that dude is an important dude. If I go bishop e6, he takes e5. All of a sudden, this diagonal turned out to be quite short. So let's play f6 first to yeah, dampen this bishop as best as I can. But obviously that meant that now both these wide diagonals are rather vulnerable. Do you have a strategy book recommendation for a 2000, 2000 Lee chess player? Dvoretsky might be still a bit too soon for 2000, but that's definitely on the cards. I do think that although they are not necessarily advertised or known to the common public as strategy books, but I think something like Nunn's Understanding Chess Move by Move is a fabulous book to get into, as is, for example, Igor Stoll's 50 Modern Masterpieces. Anything really that contains analyzed games is a good pick. Tibor Curry, my fellow countryman, has written a book, in fact, not a book, but like a lot of books about Karpov, his endgames, his strategic play. That book is worth its weight in gold. Actually, can I go horse in and then b5? I quite like that. This game is really stirring towards a good knight bad bishop scenario, except I'm talking so much I didn't realize that again I switched into correspondence chess speed, and so now it's time to pick up my game. Bishop f2, bishop d4 is a bit pesky. Okay, so now I don't need to worry about bishop f2 anymore. I would really like to put a rook on the d file. Oh, thank you. That was handy. If rook d1, we will go into rook d2. In fact, I think against everything I will play rook d2, except for that. I don't quite get that. Oh, actually, I do. That was quite clever. But now I reckon queen e4 is just mate, right? So he has to take, pawn takes back, and that's going to be a kind of bitter end. Okay, well, that's a new queen incoming. Mastering Chess Strategy by Helston. Don't know. Never heard of, as in, I think I'm actually, sorry, let me correct myself. I think I have heard of the book. I do not have a copy. So I wouldn't like to comment on books that I do not own. The Tarrasch. Tarrasch is borderline okay, in my opinion. It's a little bit too simplistic, I think is a good way to put it, but there are lots of structures in the Tarrasch. Thank you, Trailblazer. It was a really exciting game. You nearly flagged me in the end. So yeah, Tarrasch is playable, but eventually I would switch out of it in favor of either the Nimzo or some sort of very flexible Slav structures. Your nephew is 8 years old. He is 1200 FIDE rated, currently lost interest in chess. Can you suggest anything? Well, I don't want to crack silly jokes here, like try basketball or I don't know, but because of this is a chess stream and you obviously want some chess answer to that. So my view on this whole thing is that I was just having a conversation about this with my tennis coach, who has a very, very, very talented kid who very clearly isn't as excited about tennis as you would expect from someone who is that good. And I expressed my opinion that talent versus love of what you are doing, the love for the thing you do is always going to win in the long run. So what I mean by that is that if there is a kid who doesn't really like chess but is really good at it and has a FIDE rating by the age of 8 but loses interest, in my opinion, that's a far larger drama than someone who is 14 and still struggling with giving a mate with knight and bishop, but dies for chess and just inhales it and reads it and does everything in order to be exposed to chess. In my book, the latter, irrespective of lack of talent or potential or whatever, will go further in chess, or for that matter in any other area of life, than the one who loses interest in something, because you can't force it. Like it requires so much dedication that if it doesn't come genuinely from the inside, then it's just, yeah, it's a lost cause in my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying that he's a lost cause. What I'm saying is that as soon as you have to force it, you might as well quit. And it's probably not exactly the answer you were hoping to hear. I want to keep the c4 pawn by being able to go here. Do I have a favorite tennis player? See, this is a really tricky thing to ask, because recently, by posting actually one YouTube video, I exposed myself to a lot of, well, let's just say, I don't want to use the word hate, but passionate responses from various people who otherwise would have never ever come to my channel. So I need to be very careful with what I say now, because this is a typical question that divides a lot of people. I have a lot of favorite players. I love all the top three for different reasons. So I love Roger, I love Rafa, and I love Djokovic too for different reasons. But if I really had to pick one, it would be Roger. More so for his human traits than anything else. Nothing like discussing tennis, by the way, on a Banter Blitz. So yeah, good on us for bringing in the extra culture and the extra curricular questions. What would I, oh, Siddhartha chess, I think we just played a couple of games ago. What would you recommend if white plays knight f3 to avoid? I actually was worried about this a bit. I thought I would take, and then king g7 is a decent shelter for my king, but then rook g6. Oh boy. What the heck is going on here? Okay, for the record, knight f5 is not threatening with anything, so I can just choose to be dead lost by not taking it. I recommend the queen's gambit declined by, sorry, queen's Indian defense, sorry. Sorry, folks, I need to think. So takes queen h5, king g8, queen g6 check, bishop g7, queen e6 check, king f8. I can survive that. I can survive that. So yeah, against third knight f3, queen's Indian defense all the way. And no, it's not dull. It's dull at first sight, but you can choose actually lines that are quite fascinating. I wish I could show you some. I actually have posted on my YouTube channel a while ago a lesson, I think it was with one of my students, which featured a lot of queen's Indian defense, and the guy just mastered that variation that I taught him, and he kept on defeating FIDE masters and even international masters, although most of them in simultaneous games, but even so, him being an unrated, sorry, I just walked into a perpetual, no, him being a non-titled or untitled player, I think that's a stellar effort. So this is how far I calculated. And now it's time again to pray to the gods of chess, Kaisa herself. I think we're doing it fine, because queen d7, queen f7 was my last plan to not to fall apart. Oh, queen d6 check, king g8, bishop h3 is a dirty. Give me a break, man. Like, what the heck? Yeah, bishop h3 here is dirty. Don't do that, please. Actually, I think I had king here against that move, whereas against this one, I have sweet bugger all. Okay, this is getting what? Oh my god. Okay, the b7 bishop was slightly hanging, which may or may not have avoided my attention. Oh boy, top quality chess. Can I play against you? I suppose you can. You need to be a premium member on Chess24. You need to challenge me and hope for the best that you can make it before our time runs out. But other than that, man, no worries. Piece of cake. Whoa, that's a weird move. Isn't this hanging? Ah, poor guy got a bit too nervy. Onam, you had the better of me there for the most part of the game. I don't think I'm doing this banter part of the blitz too well because everyone is basically handing my backside to me and I just score fluke after fluke. So I can't even go on your bike in a genuine fashion. I've prepared a story for you guys. So I'm going to tell you that whilst this game unfolds against Banter Blitz in the King's Indian. When I started seriously getting coached by one of the best chess coaches of the country being Hungary and the world actually for that matter, by FIDE coach international master Laszlo Hazai. That was actually the period of time when computers started to enter the realm of chess. And that was the time when some players in Hungary already had access, not a lot, to Chessbase, and it was Chessbase 3.2. Yep, you heard me right. Chessbase 3.2. And so that was the time when everybody started to enter their opening files into Chessbase files. Isn't IG4 just winning here? And so when I first played the Bone Cloud, you clearly didn't see my YouTube video about that one, buddy. Yeah, so everybody started to enter their variations and files into Chessbase. And when I first arrived for our very first chess lesson in my coach's house, or rather, I should say, an apartment, thank you, Banter Blitz. It was an exciting battle. I saw that behind his chessboard was a cupboard, or rather a bookshelf, I should say, like taller than me, which is not a big call, but 2 meters high and 1.5 meters wide. And nothing was on that bookshelf other than folders of about this thickness. And all these folders actually contained his handwritten opening variations, which he mostly worked out with and for the Polgar sisters. So I have seen him in the first 3 years of our coaching together to enter, I don't know, tens of thousands of pages of handwritten opening variations that were in a handwritten format. It was just the most insane thing you could think of to see, especially with, you know, today's technology so readily available to us. We don't really think about what it was back in the day. And indeed, a lot of professional Hungarian players, but not only Hungarians, I would say that a lot of, actually, isn't 9G5 just winning here? A lot of professional players traveled with a bag that would weigh about 30 kilograms, of which at least 20 was their handwritten opening files. That was a stock standard phenomenon in the 70s, 80s, just, yeah, insane stuff. And actually, to make the story even cooler, whilst staying in the realm of reality, I actually came across in one of those folders a opening file, which actually was later given to me, which was handwritten by Sofia Polgar. And I think Judith had her handwritten notes added to that too. So for a short while, I was actually preparing for some rather important games of mine from an opening file that was handwritten by the Polgar sisters. I reckon that's not a bad one. Okay, let's hunt down the d5 pony. Let's hand down the pawn z on d5. No, says he. He wants that pawn for himself. This is a very non-cooperative behavior that I disapprove. Okay, so I'm tickling the pawn on a7. I might come back to d4 to insist on wanting to keep the pawn, although that seems to be a lost cause. I was happier that he went that way. Yeah, this knight is going to come out, right? Oh, bishop f6. Why are you trading pieces, dude, when you are down material? You're not meant to do that. If I go here, take queen c5 is a bit awkward. So I'll take that myself and then come back. Maybe d4 is a semi-decent move now. Or that. Can I go here though? Rook c8, I take this dude. This looks a little bit weird. Ah, let's go YOLO. Let's go YOLO. He takes. I shall retake. He's gonna play horse d4. And I'm going to jump back here, I reckon. Knight d4. Can I take and become famous? Famous is stupid only, so let's not do that. Knight c3 is a cute move here. And I can take knight and knight. It's a nice motif, knight c3 there. And if I take either knight and knight e2, I think the Bogo Indian is a very, very dull and boring choice compared to anything else you could aim for against knight f3. So whilst I think the opening is fundamentally fine and perfect and flawless, yeah, my choice would be Queen's Indian defense all the way. Queen's Indian defense all the way, sir. The horse is going to g5. What is that knight doing on g5 exactly? Because those white squares seem to be fairly well badged up. Okay. What do you say, my friend, if I propose to you to continue this game without the presence of the ladies? It's a very old-fashioned idea, but I would somehow prefer now a little bit of solitude. I hope that was politically correct. Thank you, Siddhartha. My absolute pleasure. Yeah, that didn't work out for the well-respected opponent. Maybe he wants to do some crazy sacks on g3. So one plan would be rook here. But I'm curious to see how he proposes to defend his pawn on d5. If I go here, maybe he has got knight here. Then I go queen e7. Then he goes rook d7. Then I go queen e5 and I will be happy. Do you know what a tier maker list is? Basically, you rank different chess openings. Yeah, I heard of this. And in fact, I have got a lovely friend who is watching us right now, who is basically doing pretty much everything on my YouTube channel that is not me actually talking into the camera. And he recommended me to do that, but I just I don't know. I was a bit reluctant to engage with that because I guess it would have felt like I'm copying the big dogs. Mind you, at the moment, I'm so insanely desperate for views and subscribers that I would sell my soul to the devil in a heartbeat. So it might be a possibility that I go down that path. Okay, stuff this. I'm just going to double up and take the d5 pawn. So yeah, I did hear of that. I did hear of the tier maker. It's a kind of a cool idea, actually. I don't mind this. It's very visual. It's very easy to sell. It doesn't really require too much input. Can I go here, or that would cost me an exchange? I mean, I don't really care about set exchange, right? Let's play for the crowd a little bit. Let's be show-offs. After all, Banter Blitz is a little bit about showing off too, right? Unfortunately, chose the wrong night. Well, see, the problem, there is no problem there because the third G3 is not a Queen's Indian defense. That's a Catalan. So there you have a new problem, which admittedly is a problem. That if you are an IMZO player, you have to learn against knight f3 the Queen's Indian defense, and against G3 you also have to learn either a Catalan or a Benoni structure. It sucks. If you want to play decent chess, unfortunately, a lot of learning is inevitable. There are two ways to go about this. You either embrace it, or you just go like, nah, and then you choose something that is not going to satisfy you in the long run. My suggestion is choose some easy lines, and instead of worrying about you memorizing them, just play them. You will learn them on the go. Do I think that stalemate equals a win should be integrated in modern chess? I think that concept is absolute bollocks, like crazy. And whilst I do seem to agree with Nigel Short on a lot of things that he posts on, oh my God, my rook! Oh wow, he missed route 92. He's too kind. On a lot of matters that he posts, stalemate being a win, like how does that make sense? I don't even understand the proposition, like the core of it. Like so many things are awesome in chess, especially theoretical endgames, because of the concept of stalemate exists. I think it's just nonsense, to be honest. But I mean, I don't really want to argue against with someone of, well, I do actually. I do want to argue, but I don't want to go over the top with how. Oh, wait a second. How crazy I labeled that idea. Oh no, dude! Like really, that was not nice. That was very unpleasant behavior. All right. Well done, Bond Kramer. You got the better of me, dude. So, yeah, no, I just... Bold Rick. Ha! Look at the nerve of some of these peeps. Calling me bold? Unheard of. All right. I made a video about the Mora on my YouTube channel, so I guess I really have to put my mouth where my money is. I missed the mate too. Oh boy, this is getting embarrassing. What the heck was I saying in my is it 97 here, or I'm dying to knight b5? Wow, I don't remember my own variation. That is talented. Did I miss a mate in one? Oh boy. A mate in one. That's next level stupidity. Mind you, I can't play chess to save my life when I'm talking, so I can totally believe you. Is it gonna mess up the recording if I just go back to the game? Because I really want to check on a scale of 1 to 10 how stupid I was. Put your pieces in the center, by the way. That's what a famous chess coach said once, and made a pretty awesome course about it too. I miss Queen H7, mate. Wow, that's next level stuff. That is seriously next level stuff. Okay. So this is not the Banter Blitz today, but the International Master Sucks at Chess episode. I mean, I could take this. It's free. But I'm really keen to take that square away from the knight. Yeah, I will do that. Yeah, that was not my finest moment for sure. Bishop h4. That's actually quite a clever move to soften up the dark squares. Oh, poor bugger. That's unfortunate. Can I offer a take back? I'm not quite as familiar with this platform as I should be. He said, no. Well, I feel the same way, buddy, when I miss my mate on h7. Yeah, the course Catalan is quite decent. To be fair, honest with you, I really like transitioning back into Benoni lens because I feel very comfortable. Okay, sorry, buddy. I didn't know how I could offer a take back or anything like that. So I enjoy playing Benoni structures. Gregor Shamsha, wasn't that a famous character from a Kafka novel, The Castle, isn't it? Where the dudes are trying to go up to the castle and they just never. No, that was a novel. Sorry, a short story. What was it again called? I only read it in Hungarian and I want to show off now. When he actually transitions into a cockroach. Oh boy. Can someone type into the chat? I don't want to be lame and Googling it whilst I'm playing. What was the title of that Kafka short story that features Gregor Samsa as the main character? That's our literature question for the day. Bugger, I can't even remember the Hungarian title. Oh yeah, it's called Metamorphosis. Baby, gotcha. So now back to a serious question. Yep, Carson typed it in, but I already said it. Metamorphosis. The point is mine. Yeah, close Catalan good, Benoni good. An isolated pawn confirms that it is the Metamorphosis. Oh, it's my turn. There is not a lot of point in staring at the board, waiting for your opponent to make a move when it's not theirs. Sveshnikov variation. Let's bring this horse back towards the weak white squares. The bishop defends the pawn. We'll take this dude and we'll redirect. No, it's actually castles. This is a very cool line to play for black. Do you intend to create opening courses on Chessable as well? I haven't decided on that one yet. It's a very good question. Chessable is full of really high quality, really good opening courses, and I feel that the window of opportunity there is sort of closing, really, because there is less and less that can still be covered. So for the time being, I would like to make the best job possible by completing these 3 courses on chess principles. I think I was meant to take f5, by the way, in hindsight. And then I will take it from there. I haven't decided it. It definitely has crossed my mind. So it's certainly on the cards as a possibility. Why am I playing so badly? But yeah, I don't know yet. I don't know yet the answer to that question. Maybe here. Rook d8, AB. Something takes on d5, and it sucks to be me, but let's go. Yeah, I have been living in Australia for eternity. 14 years. So yes, that is correct. If I could study anything I wanted in university, what would I choose? Well, I did go to university, for the record, and probably you are going to receive the news with the greatest dismay, but I actually did major in literature. And I certainly wouldn't do that. I would try to study something that has got practical value. Probably journalism would have been one of them that, in hindsight, I think my character would have been good for. There was a point in my life when I was contemplating, although it sounds very childish and stupid, acting, which I think I wouldn't have been terrible at. And by the way, Hollywood, I'm still up for grabs. If you want a dude who is balding and claims to know a few chess moves. See, even history, I think my book is a little bit higher value than literature. Don't ask me my plans and my moves, because they don't exist. Like, I would like to chuck out at you a Hikaru like 17 arrows in 2 seconds and tell you I'm gonna win in 55 moves forced. That ain't gonna happen, ladies. This is gonna be boring grind. Trying to equalize as wide, because that's what we are doing best today. My rating is abysmally low. Did that one loss destroy it so badly, or we are not playing rated? Which one is it? Okay, let's take that dude. Let's put this knight on b4. A little bit tickling that pawn on b5. So I'm expecting rook c5, rook e5, or something like a good move that wouldn't occur to a mere mortal like myself. So he really wants to mate me by swinging across to g6. And I really dislike the idea, so I'm trying to mess with his head a little bit. And instead of taking b5, I'm attacking another pawn. I still can't believe that I missed the mating one, by the way. Thank you, Philip, for confirming that. I deserve it, apparently. So if you don't find a mate in one and then you get flagged, yeah, and the Lord's fury unleashes on you, you deserved it. He wants to play e3, I reckon. And I don't really know how to respond to it, to be honest. Maybe check, rook d8, queen g4 check. Yeah, that sounded like a decent plan. I mean, rook d1 is now my number one go-to. Trying to be a lamer and trade like mad. This e3 is really pesky. I'm not quite sure how to deal with it. Maybe knight c2 and rook d2. Although then I have queen g4 check. Ha! Maybe this was lame. I always tell my students never to move backwards on a chessboard, so this might bite us in the back. Queen b5, e3. Masses of trades, king f1, king h1. I mean, I'm really, really reluctant to do this, but it looks like I have to. I wonder if I'm blundering something here. My time, other than, I mean, first and foremost, my time. Maybe after e3, I've got f3 and then plug it in with knight d4. Okay, that was that bad, I think. Because he allowed me to block this diagonal entirely. Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen g5 is still... Oh, no, I can trade queens. Okay, this is over. Do I have chess base open? Ha! Yeah, very funny. No, I don't. What is the biggest talent in chess right now, according to your opinion? That's a very good question. I think I lost a lot of my skills in chess, but one that I think have got working on a very similar level to where it was when I was at my peak is my ability to recognize in a position if there is a, well, to basically to highlight bad moves and consequently to develop that desire to want to punish it and to know the right moment to go for the kill. And obviously, the higher level you play, the more subtle moves you can still identify as really bad or really good. And I'm not saying that I'm way above where I'm normally is. What I'm saying is that I think that is the skill that I managed to retain the best. That when I see a move that is a little bit out of order, I immediately seem to be able to home in on it and going like, no, that should be wrong. And then usually I also figure out why and how. Okay, I misread the question because I'm a selfish dude. What's the biggest talent in chess right now? By what or who? German Dario Flores. I'm afraid we'll have to call it off soon, buddy, because there are people in the queue. I will have to abort it. Okay, isolated pawn. I want you to rephrase that question. Do you mean who, or do you mean what is the type of talent that is mostly needed? I think calculating ability is definitely one of the topmost ones. To calculate very effectively, very fast, in an Anand-like fashion when he was in his prime, I think that is one of the best skills to have, which is very difficult to develop. Yeah, you meant who? Okay, this sucks, guys, but I keep on aborting games because people keep on not making moves. Apologies. Hard to tell, man. Like, to lean towards my own peeps, Richard Rappert is definitely an insanely talented dude. I think it would be very, very foolish and silly not to mention the obvious one. Like Magnus Carlsen is an insane talent. absolute top draw stuff, Carlsen is. Hikaru is a fabulous talent. I think, yeah, I don't want to go there. He's a brilliant talent. He's a brilliant talent. And of course, everyone is dying to see how far the Iranian legend Firuzia can go. And I'm definitely one of those. I'm definitely, C4 is a good move here. I'm definitely one of those dudes who would love to see how far Firuzia can go. So in this King's Indian attack structure, I like to do this trick where I don't castle. Purely because then their attack is coming at nothing. I did lose once a beautiful game with this concept where my opponent played 93, sacked on d5, and my position fell apart. But even that one was, I think, playable for black until I did a really, really silly, made a really silly choice. If Fischer or Kasparov would have played in this, if they had played in the same era, who would you pick? Yeah, this is really a question that is not possible to answer because they had different things at their disposal. They were both absolute workaholics, and their ethic towards chess and towards getting to the bottom of things was just unparalleled with their respective rivals. Okay, so I managed to put the rook up from b8 to b7, and now I'm trying to score another tempo with the queen. So I don't know. It's hard to tell, but okay. Didn't quite expect that. So can I take and then go in and be sneaky? Like, he doesn't have any penetration points. I'm a very big believer that Kasparov at his prime was something that the chess world hasn't seen until that point before. Oh, if I was hanging. I mean, there's no way to defend it other than bishop b2, which looks horrendous. So that's all good. What is the best way to develop from 2000 lead chess? Well, it's hard to tell, man. It depends on your style. It depends on what part of your game is breaking down. Usually that's the time when you need to start playing decent openings and understanding what's going on in them. And also just be incredibly sharp in tactics. Boy, I'm losing my voice. By the way, I'm not keeping track of the time at all. So I hope that these lovely people on behalf of Chess24 are not getting sick and tired of me. I will ask how much time do we have? Has he moved? Oh, Bishop went back to C1. Okay, let's pull back here. Although I hate to use the word going back. Best ways to get me as a coach. Well, some would agree, some wouldn't. But that's another good thing that at about 2000, I think if you can start working with a great coach, that can set you on the right path. Why did he give me that pawn for free again? Okay, I'm confused because I have got a lot of moves to defend this. Okay, bro. Reveal your hand. He's gonna take. So much for prediction. Now knight d4 is just deadly. That was a really bad move. Nah. I will just play h6 to prevent his dream move of h6. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, Pat. Okay, we have got 15 minutes left, lovely peeps. So what that means is that I'm going to finish this game and probably 2 more. And I humbly apologize to all those who didn't have a chance. I am honestly humbled by the number of challenges I have received. I was quite pleasantly surprised by that. So thank you very much for showing such interest, and also thank you for hanging in there despite of the original hiccup. Which way do we want to go, folks? Yeah, he's not gonna like me for doing this. Did I just walk into some stupid tactic? No. As long as this bishop hangs, he doesn't have right to tactics. I'm afraid, Jasper Red, that you are a bit too late to the party. Oh my god, I just missed knight f3. Okay, this is getting late. That's embarrassing. But I hope he drops the bishop back so I can use this tactic to restore my reputation. Nah, unfortunately he didn't. So now I'm trying to sell this. That's poor chess by me, really. Also, I had knight takes c2. And then queen takes, and then I pick off another pawn. c3. So he says, no, you won't. Okay, so I take, king takes. d4 check, then he takes this. If I take, king takes. Unreal. Take, e5. King e2, d4. I feel like I'm missing something painfully obvious again. Oh, okay. He saved me by blundering his queen. I don't think he realized that my bishop was guarded here, which kind of sucks. GG, bro. GG. Good game indeed. Okay. What chess apps or sites did you play? Well, I play on all 3 main chess websites, so I guess that's as political an answer I can give you. Okay, let's try the Najdorf. Najdorf is good because it's a lot of theory that I do not know, so there is every chance we are going to die miserably. Oh wow, that's a terrible move. Like the whole idea of playing a3 is to drop the bishop back to a2. So now I'm just scoring a huge tempo on the bishop. Because this is my plan anyway, to put the knight here and then into c4. Not to take, but to come in. I don't know if that was a mouse slip or he just didn't know what he was doing. It looks like a very ugly move to play, by the way, because we are moving away from the center, which is never a good thing. But in this particular case, the elimination of one of the bishops is a crucially important concept. Excusez-moi. And if I had the time, I would even play b5, bishop out. So now I guess takes is logical, although after cb, the c file is a bit annoying. Nah, I will just develop. I really like floating different ideas. The only motive that you really should watch out for if you are playing this system as black is that if you play an early bishop b7, then bishop takes e6 is going to poop the party big time. Rook d1. So part of me actually wants to play bishop d7, rook c8, and then chuck the horse in there. Actually, no. Now I will take this, because if he takes back with the pawn, he's going to lose a move on the rook move. Yeah, he should have taken with the pawn still. This knight retreat is terrible because it decentralizes the piece. And so now he's sitting there planless, wondering what has he done wrong. And what he has done wrong is very simply being unaware of da center. Would I recommend the Banker Gambit? I would, but it's a tricky story. I would recommend the Banker Gambit as a backup, if you will, or like a secondary choice, if that makes sense. Like have a main weapon against d4 and then have the Banker as a occasionally thrown in line. I think that's the best way. Oh, that is now gonna be very soft. Let's go back. The not did you come the Nack-Manson Gambit? No, let's not talk about that, please. Bishop d4, very logical. Now I can consider e5 here. But do I want to, or do I want to just build with bishop here, queen here? No, because knight a5. Actually, I reckon the best is just to play a prophylactic move and wait for him to commit to either e5 or f5, which I believe both are wrong. And otherwise, my e5 will have a bit of an extra oomph with the rook being here. Would you recommend the Bone Cloud? Oh, well. I'm pretty sure that many YouTubers made videos about that. I'm one of them. And let's just say that it wasn't as warmly welcome as I thought it would have been, but that's all right. Each to their own. But no, it's very unlikely that I would chuck my king on e2. That's just not how I roll. Now, this is already an existing tactic, but I'm a little bit nervous about some rook f6. Actually, I'm not, because I'll take b2 and everybody will hang. I mean, that's probably a very bad figure of speech, but thank you for the cool show. My absolute pleasure, man. I mean, I don't know how cool it is. I'm running out of voice. So that doesn't make things easier. So takes, queen takes. Oh, okay. Now I could take this as well. Should I? Yeah, why not to be a show off when I can? Yeah, let's go, Baba. Let's go, Baba. Yeah, I knew that was coming, but the plan was that I would just ignore it and take something else instead. So if the rook goes back, I will take this queen check, king here, queen f5, maybe queen up to 6 somewhere. Yeah. This is not good enough. This shouldn't be good enough. He's very ambitious. I like that. He's trying his hardest to mate me. But unfortunately, I've got too many dudes against his very few dudes. And usually more dudes beat less dudes. I want to take f2 and then e4. Do I have some sexy? Not yet. Resilience, man. He's definitely very resilient. He doesn't want to give in. And I respect that. It's cool. It's cool. But now I think mate is incoming. Even with my appalling sense of giving mate in once, this is gonna be it. All right, last game, ladies and gentlemen. Last game. Björn Gehr, you are the very fortunate or the very unlucky. It depends on how we look at it. Good luck to you, sir. Oh, okay. Here is another Sicilianos. I like people who play the Sicilian. That means you want to play fun, exciting chess. Kudos to you. That's how chess is meant to be played. Make it fun. Fun is good. This is the G3 system, quite amazingly named after the move G3 against this Paulsen setup. And usually here players go queen c7, castles, and then bishop e7. This is really bad because now I can go to d5 without being punished. I also have made a YouTube video about when e5 push is correct and when it's wrong in the Sicilian. So if you think that you might not have a good grasp of when it's okay and when it's not, I recommend you to check it out. What do I think of the Vienna for white? Not to go there would be my gut instinct response. There is a good reason why almost every single world champion, either with white or black, has played the Rui Lopez against e4, e5, or played e4, e5 as black. That is why I'm a little bit against the Vienna as well as anything else that is not the Rui Lopez. Because again, the Rui Lopez is so much fun that it's very difficult to persuade me why I would want to avoid it. Yeah, that was an unfortunate blunder in a bad position by my opponent. So he really should have taken this knight. But the problem is that after I retake, my bishop becomes a boss. Okay, rook g8. Do I go queen d2 knight? Yeah, okay. Maybe bishop h6 was better objectively. I don't know. I want to just now castle finish development and mop up in style if possible. That is the grand plan. Knight e4 is not working because I have got bishop h6 check, king e8, and then bishop takes e4, defends the knight, and f5. But probably there are a million other tactical reasons why it's not good. I mean, black in such positions when king is dancing in the middle and they have got inferior development, they shouldn't have rights for tactics. So therefore, I'm very reluctant to believe that he has got anything like knight e4 here. I expect something like bishop e6 perhaps. Maybe take now. Yeah, that's it. Good old Björn is thinking very hard at the moment. Kudos to him for that. As we are nearing our time, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you for your patience and for tuning in and giving me an opportunity to play against you and to talk about my various Chessable courses, about what I think about certain openings and coaching advice even. It's been a great fun, really. Can't wait to be back. Yeah, the Rui Lopez is very theoretical. The only problem with that is that I don't understand why that is a problem. People talk about theory like it was some kind of devil, where the reality is that it's not. That's what gives this game a beautiful scientific feel. When we get to play a beautiful tactics, we feel like we are artists. When we are analyzing openings and we're trying to come up with some novelties and we are trying to understand the incredible depth of opening theory, that's when it looks like science. When we are battling it out like crazy and neither of us have any idea what's going on, that's when it's a sport, when it's a bit of a dogfight. So I don't see why any of these components should be removed, or not removed, but frowned upon or wanting to be avoided. Embrace it. The best way to get in touch with me is via email. My email is the same as my YouTube channel, chesscoachandras@gmail.com. So that is it. Thank you, Björn, for the great game. And unfortunately, guys, our time is up. So I have to say goodbye now to all of you. I'm at the end of my voice anyway. Thank you very much for tuning in. Once again, it has been an absolute joy. I really enjoyed both the chess and the conversation. You got a very good giggle out of this because I missed the mate in one, which I still can't believe I did. But hey, that's all. That's the best I could do today. So I did it. I could use the excuse that it's ridiculous o'clock, but that would just make it sound lame. So if you are keen to see further content from me, then I would like to warmly welcome you to my Chessable course, which, by the way, goes on special tomorrow. So if you want to check that out, then do so tomorrow. Don't forget to check out my YouTube channel, and hopefully these lovely peeps at Chess24 will also consider having me again. Until then, take care, guys. Catch you later, alligator. Bye.